Alright, hey folks, Tommy Cowett, the real alien Tom from Outerspace Landscape, back with you again for another episode. And this is a little more of our attempt at rocket science. As an earlier episode on making IMO, indigenous microorganisms, we learned that from Brian McGrath with Prakashi. Brian also shows some other Korean farming techniques. And it's another very interesting product to me, and this is called EM1. That's effective microorganisms, and basically it's lactobacillus, lactic acid bacteria that you can grow, and you can just take it right out of the thin air. I'll show you a little bit about how we did it. I guess I probably followed Brian's method, which is traditional Korean technique. I used rice. Basically took rice, took some distilled water, and did a rice wash. Just shook it in the water. That water became real milky, so I strained that off and poured it into your typical mason jar, and put that liquid in there. It's a couple of cups of water into the in there, and just let it stay out in the open for about just a couple of seconds is all it took, and the microorganisms from the atmosphere went in. Now that wash, they were after the food source, the rice wash. They were starch. I guess you could, Brian says you could use potatoes, you could use other forms of starch, but the Korean technique uses rice, which I also use to make the indigenous microorganism product. So after I had that, I basically within 3 days saw a scum forming on the surface of the water, and in the bottom there was some sediment. So what I did was took my little syringe here and sucked out the middle, the fluid between the sediment in the bottom and the scum on the top. You don't have to do that, from what Brian says. Okay, so there I was. I had a lot of different organisms there, lots of bacteria that I captured from the atmosphere. Well, I took that little bit of serum that I took off. It wasn't serum yet. This is the serum I've got here in this Tupperware jar I'm about to show you. I took that and added it here and mixed it with milk. And I did that a while back, and this is the final product here. What you have on top, and if you could smell this, it's got a very strong aroma. A bacteria smell to it. That is a curd on the top, some type of cheese. Just poke around in here a little bit and you see. Then there's also a whey on the bottom. It's curds and whey, baby. All the other liquid in here is pure So what we have, it's pure serum. This is a pure lactobacillus serum. And what I'm planning on doing is using my syringe, and I will pour off, separate out the curd, the whey from the serum. And I'll have it in this container. And I'll be using it in order to stabilize it. I'll be adding some molasses. And you could just about store this stuff forever. This molasses will be the food source. And I'll probably mix, it's 1 to 20, 1 part of the serum to 20 parts water, and use it as a spray on your plants. Use it as a compost starter. I'm going to be using it in our turf plots to add to the Tommy's Tonic, which I'm calling it now, but it's basically, I'm going to be adding IMO and EM1, and we're going to test that against some other products that we've been told will work as an organic lawn care product. We'll see how it works. I used to be in the chemical sales business and sold a product called Bacazap to a lot of pest control companies. They used it for odor remediation in like dumpsters. So the lactic acid bacteria is a very good decomposer. If you have an odor or some smelly trash cans, you can use the we'd use the Bacazap, or in this case this. Let me tell you about some other products. There are some dog products, veterinary products on the market now that are natural for dogs that contain lactic acid bacteria to help with their digestion. Also, it's good to spray on their coat. It will remove, I'd like to use it in the dog lots to spray around, say, wherever they are urinating or defecating on the lawn. You can spray it. The lactobacteria is a degrader. It will go in there and attack that source of urea, nitrogen, ammonia, and break it down. That's their food source. This stuff is really, really powerful. If it wasn't for lactic acid bacteria, we'd be dead. We wouldn't live. It's naturally occurring in our stomach, and it helps with our digestion. This is an easy way. I took this from the atmosphere, I grew it out, and now we're going to be using it in the garden, in the compost pile, for various things. I'm going to be applying it to the lawn. It's probably a dethatcher, a natural dethatcher will go and help decompose some of the thatch in the soil and around the turf grass plant. So really, I'm going to be using it in my garden, my raised beds, and other areas this season. And we'll give it a shot, and we'll check up with you later. It's not rocket science, but we're trying. Have a great one. Bye-bye. All right, this is it. This is the EM1, and it is all done. It is complete. It's stabilized with the molasses. That's going to be the food source for the bacteria. And we will apply this at a rate of 1 part EM1 to 20 parts water, and apply as you would any other product. We'll probably I'll be using a sprayer, hand sprayer, and we'll report back to you about some of our findings.